Welcome back to Sports Call here on Tiger 95.9. Ryan Lavoie, Brooks Childress with you here today from Radio Row in Atlanta, where we welcome on Roman Harper of the SEC Network. Roman, the time is greatly appreciated. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Always have a great time when I go to Auburn. Like, how do I not? You know what I mean?
Sure. Absolutely. So let's start a little bit about the Tigers. We'll go league-wide. Obviously, a rough 2 years for Hugh Freeze.
Is it really, though? Is it really that rough? I think you guys started from way back.
Sure.
You had an inside coup job. All right. So when you overturn the government, you're going to have a little bit of rocky ways. All right. And so when you do these things, then you're going to get certain reactions and behaviors. It's a cause and effect to everything. I think Hugh Freeze has done an excellent job of recruiting. And I always look at like where I judge Auburn at is that, especially in recruiting, is when Auburn's getting players that Alabama wants, Auburn's always good.
Sure.
That is what's been happening the last year and a half. And so I think Hugh Freeze is building. You must understand that the outside environment and where people saw Auburn at just 3 years ago. And so I don't think it is as rocky as what Auburn fans tell me that it is.
Sure.
But it's also, I'm just a mirror, right? I just tell everybody what people are telling me and what I sense and what I feel. And so if it's all up to Auburn, is Auburn going to be happy with 7 wins this year? Is Auburn going to be happy with 8 wins minimum? Or they only want 9 or 10. So that's what the fans usually that's what I always go off of. I also look at the schedule, and I'm non-emotional as well. So I don't have a dog in the fight.
So let's amend that a little bit then. Year 2 missed opportunities.
There we go. I like that, yes.
So how does Auburn convert those missed opportunities? A lot of close losses, a blown game against Oklahoma. How did they convert that into some close victories this year?
Number one, they got to take care of the football. Auburn has to take care of the football. Them and Arkansas were the biggest examples of, we would call them violators, right? Where you got to, before you ever win a game, you got to learn how not to lose the game. Turning the football over at a high rate is going to make you lose the game. Auburn turned the football over week after week after week. And it's just simple mistakes, bad reads, not being on the same page offensively. Somebody's throwing a hitch and the quarterback's throwing a go route. Like little things like this are just simple giveaways that Auburn continued to struggle with all year long. And when they got that cleaned up, they actually competed and played hard. So I also look at it where Auburn is playing hard. They're not quitting on the coach. Like you can see that on tape. They're just mis-executing. And it comes down to execution, especially when you're not more talented than the teams you're playing against. You got to be able to out-execute them. And that is where Auburn struggled with the most to me. And so now you're bringing back Hugh Freeze in this offense again. You insert a different quarterback where now Hugh Freeze actually went into the portal, which a lot of people thought he should have done that last year to at least bring in some kind of competition for what they were doing last year. We'll see how it goes this year. They got talent on the outside. They got talent up front on offense. They bring back a really salty defense in some areas as well, where Auburn's always going to play good defense. And we all know the home field advantage that is Jordan-Hare Stadium. You got to put it together, and you got to win some games early, and then that's going to give you the confidence to really win some games later. For me, that first real test for Auburn is going to be that Oklahoma game. We're going to see and know a lot about who this Oklahoma team is, and then also who this Auburn team is. It's a couple games in that week 3, week 4 schedule this year that's really going to kind of set the standard where the SEC is. And then now, how desperate are you going to be? Because coming down the stretch, you can't lose more than 3 if you want to get in. So how desperate is it going to make you early on if you take that early L, or if you want to hold on and get that early win?
Roman, we're in it every single day. So, we're up and down the depth chart at least once a week on the program.
Nice.
When you look at it from an outsider's perspective, from a national media perspective, who are a couple guys that you think need to take that next step for Auburn to be that successful?
Well, number one is your quarterback. Jackson Arnold looked lost at times last year. So can you get his brain to slow down, slow everything down? And then also, I need a little bit of some leadership role in that as well. I know it's hard to come in from as a transfer, be an outsider, play against this team as well. Then all of a sudden now I'm in the locker room sharing showers with you and we're supposed to be cool. It's just a little different aspect of it. So how do you tear down all those walls? And I got to get this quarterback because he was highly rated. He was highly recruited. I got to get him playing towards what he was before whatever Oklahoma put on him. Okay, so I got to get that part cleaned up first, because if you got the quarterback, then you got the chance. And then from there, it's got to be now I need these big time receivers. And I also need Hugh Freeze to step up. Like, I don't need Hugh Freeze throwing the quarterback under the bus when he plays bad.
Mm.
I need you to take it more on the chin, because that's what the head coach has done, right? And sometimes before you ever lead, you got to learn how to serve. And so that would be the advice I would tell Auburn fans right now, especially about Hugh Freeze, where I see this program at from the outside looking in. It's never about just talent with Auburn. They got that. It's all about all the little things that you're doing to win ball games week in and week out. And can they be explosive offensively? I don't think they're explosive enough at times, where you got all these big time receivers and we've been hearing about them for the last couple of years. Well, I want to be explosive on offense. And so I need to be able to take shots. I don't need to just be able to run the football effectively. And when you are running the football effectively, stick with it. And so those are the things, the dynamics that I saw from Auburn last year that really was, it would throw me. And so I know defensively I'm supposed to talk about defense because I'm a defensive guy. But for me, all the problems were offensively for Auburn last year. It was turning the football over. It was being too up and down. It's just being too stale. Now we're not protecting the quarterback, or the quarterback's not letting the ball rip. It's all those things. You get that side of it done, I know what Auburn's going to be defensively. They always are that defensively. I'm not worried about that. So, to me, that's where I look at Auburn, that they need to take the steps. It's the quarterback and the head coach, and then everybody else will follow after that.
I'm curious, Roman, with your experience, obviously being a great player at Alabama, a great player in the National Football League, and when you go professional,
Thank you.
When you go professional, you know it's a business, and that goes both ways and that sort of thing. Now we see in college with the transfer portal, with NIL, with more business aspects entering into it. How are these young guys, in your opinion, equipped to handle these different challenges that come with? And they're great opportunities, but just how do you think everyone is kind of handling the more business aspect of it?
So number one, they're not, okay? Nobody is, all right? I wasn't ready for it when I got my first check either. You know what I did? I bought a Mercedes and I drove to Tuscaloosa with the top down, all right? Nobody's going to be ready. But it still doesn't mean it shouldn't happen or that it can't happen. So number one, the fans need to understand everything's transactional now. From recruiting in high school to where the high school players are looking at it, it's transactional. So once you get that part established, then we can start to build the relationship. Understand that I understand it's transactional. You understand it's transactional. This conversation is transactional. I want to get something out of you. You want to get something out of me. But in between all that, how can we each make each other better? That is where the conversation starts. That once you get to those parts, now we can start to build the rapport, and then I can start to buy into what you're selling me, which ultimately is the culture. When the culture of any program is still the people. And I say that anywhere. That's why I love the culture of New Orleans, because I love the people of New Orleans. And so then they can start to buy into those aspects of it. And then you'll start to see what that program is, what they want to represent. And then all of a sudden, okay, I can go there. And I'm also understanding that it is transactional. So what am I getting to go there as well? So all those things are kind of worked into it, and it bridges it. And it just seems to fit more seamlessly than begrudgingly like, oh, we got to give this, and this player only wants that. I'm like, let's just establish that early. Then let's see if we can make this work for both of us at the end of the day. And so that's where I see it is. It's hard. It's difficult. And I think we got to continue to educate these young people about what to do when they have this money. And that also that it comes with responsibilities. Like I'm not just, and it's the same thing I would tell anybody in the NFL. These organizations aren't just giving you this money to just play football, especially the bigger checks. When I start paying you 7 figures, 8 figures, like it comes with leadership. It comes with doing the right thing. It comes with speaking in front of the camera and representing more than just a name on your back when you're in front of the people and organizations and in the community. You got to serve as well. So like it comes with the other responsibilities. And the real advantage here is for those families and those young men and women that have the ecosystem around them that allows them to just get fed. It's like the water coming through the rocks through the stream. Like I'm getting a lot of the bad stuff out as it's getting fed to these young people. Like, all right, this person, they don't want nothing but money. Oh, this person is not a good, no, that's not a good deal. So I'm not letting everything get to these people. So the people that have the buffers and the people around them that know how to know what a good contract looks like, that I know I can take it to a lawyer and say, this is not good. Let's get it business terms where this is good for this player, you know, or who's somebody who's been through the recruiting process before. Those are the ones that really, truly have the advantage in these situations, and they make better and smarter decisions. And that's ultimately what you want to see out of all these young people.
He is Roman Harper of the SEC Network joining us today on Sports Call. Roman, we certainly appreciate the time today and glad to have you on the program and look forward to watching your coverage all week long and all season long.
Oh, man, thank you guys for having me, man. Shout out to everybody in Auburn, everybody in the 334. I'm Prattville, one of Prattville's finest, so I'm a 334 guy myself. And shout out to Buc-ee's, the biggest and best thing that came to Auburn in the last 4 years. Shout out to Buc-ee's. I stop by every time I'm driving back home, so
Excellent.
shout out.
We love it. Roman Harper today on
Don't give me an
Sports Call.
NIL deal today.